Good day, everyone. I'm Janine Camille Arcatubig. I'm your discussant for this topic about multicultural literacy. Okay, here are some learning objectives of this topic. First is to familiarize students with the concept of multicultural literacy. Second is to explain the dimension of multicultural education. Third is to identify issues and challenges in the Philippines education. And last is to formulate ways in promoting multicultural inside the classroom. So here is the question. What is multicultural literacy? So according to Banks in 1996, it consists of skills and the ability to identify the creators of knowledge and their interests. So the definition is very straight to the point. That is what really actually consists of the skills and the ability to identify the creators of knowledge and of course their interests. So, okay, what's the purpose to uncover the assumptions of the knowledge, to view knowledge from the diverse ethnic and cultural perspective, and to use knowledge to guide, okay, to guided actions that will create a human and just world. So that's it. It is the definition and of course purpose of multicultural literacy. So what's the purpose? So that we could have knowledge and of course we have guided actions for creating a human and just world. So that if there is human and just world, there is peace among the population or among the people, not just probably of the Republic of the Philippines but of course of the world. So it's according to about 2008. Okay, according to about 2008, so multicultural literacy then brings attention to diversity and of course equity and social justice to foster cultural awareness by addressing difficult issues like discrimination and oppression towards other ethnicities. So very true, there are still part of the world that this discrimination and oppression towards others ethnicities are still happening because of the concept of multicultural literacy. We are now aware that discrimination and oppression towards ethnicities are not good, so probably it is a hindrance to the progress of the society and of course in the community. So according to about 2008, this one, according to about 2008, so education for multicultural literacy should help students develop what skills the 21st century skills which mentioned in previous lessons, and of course good attitudes that are needed to become active citizens who will work towards achieving social justice within our communities. So take note, it's not just the 21st century skills that we need to have or to possess. We need also to have good attitude. So first we need to learn different cultures. Second is we need to learn a person is being discriminated, so that is an X. The other one is uh, there should be equal or fair opportunity to all. Okay, so no one will left behind. So based on our age, culture, status, and backgrounds in life. So there should be a equal opportunity. Okay, another thing is that multicultural literacy, according to about 2008, needs to be transformed in substantial ways to prepare students to function effectively in the 21st century. So there should be a transformation of this multicultural literacy. So by making small changes within the classroom, it can create big changes globally. So that's it. So any changes probably particular in school should start within the classroom. So, okay, so the diversity grows, there is a need for emergence of multicultural education that is more representative of the students in today's classroom. So, by teaching students to be advocates of multiculturalism, we are also sending a message of empathy and tolerance. So, these are the things that a teacher should do inside the classroom. So, this can be probably a small thing, like, for example, empathy and tolerance in school as a need to develop deeper understanding of others and of course appreciation of different culture. So that's according to Banks. Okay, and also we need to understand each other, particularly inside the classroom. If there are 40 students, we need to understand because we come we came from different backgrounds and races and appreciation of different cultures for that. So, example, Marisol is having another culture. Also, Bugart has another culture. So, we have also Dedang has another culture. So, in short, we need to understand and appreciate different cultures for that matter. So with this being said, in order for students to develop this attitude and skills, it requires basic knowledge prior to teaching students how to question assumptions about cultural knowledge and how to critically think about these important cultural issues, which is what essentially makes multicultural literacy a 21st century literacy. One of the challenging classes to incorporate multicultural literacy is physical education and health. Where would you even begin? You can ask your students to present different genres of dance which originated from different cultures. So this activity can be integrated with other subject areas. For instance, it can be connected to language arts, where students can research the chosen culture and communicate their findings. In addition, students can write a reflection piece and or about the research and dance experience. So the purpose of this activity would be to allow students to take the perspective of different cultures. So students will gain a sense of why certain cultures have traditions that meet their needs and wants. Okay, so multicultural literacy as a set of skills and knowledge is difficult to define because of how it changes depending on the context in which it discussed. So for example, multicultural literacy as defined in American literature is different from how it is deployed in a more European context. So this one in American multicultural literacy has very strong leanings toward knowing or identifying the polyethnic origins of knowledge with the express goal of fostering equality, diversity, and social justice. So this is a direct response to the Eurocentric and white dominance traditions of education that in the eyes of American culture, minorities, particularly the blacks, is a form of racial injustice. So this is very foreign to the Philippine context, which despite having our own deeply ingrained traditions of discrimination, does not have the same issues of discrimination as in the United States, nor the same amount of hostility. So the fact that the perceived need for multicultural literacy stems from a slighted sense of justice for the other, that is any individual, group, or culture that another individual, group, or culture considers not of us for any reason. So cannot be ignored in our attempts to pin down a functional definitions of multicultural literacy for ourselves. So it is important to realize that Under this definition, a different culture is not just limited to someone from another country, but could also include someone whose gender, economic background, religious belief, sexual orientation, or even sense of fashion is different from our own. Okay, so there are some skills and knowledge required to be multicultural literate. Are so first be selflessness. So it is an attitude of selflessness. One is less concerned with how I feel and more concerned with how I am making others feel. So it's crucial to multicultural literacy, as so much of the offense are conflict associated with the meeting of different culture is the result of a me first attitude. Okay, so next, the second one is to know that good and useful things can and do come from those different from us. So, meaning, with a dismissive attitude toward another culture, is the idea that nothing good can come from them. Furthermore, there is a tendency to ignore or outright dismiss evidence to the contrary. Simply acknowledging that good ideas and products have come from cultures we might not like goes a long way in preparing our minds to perceive them as being equally valuable. The third is be willing to compromise, meaning any significant interaction with someone from a different culture is governed by the principle of he or she wants something and I want something. In other words, cultures do not interact out of pure magnanimity. If both of you are willing to give the other what they want, that's good. But what happens when one or both are unwilling to give what the other wants? So there must be a compromise, a reciprocal adjustment of demand and expectations to accommodate what the other party is willing to give. Number four is accept that there are limits. So at some point, however, one or both culture will be unwilling or unable to adjust their wants for the sake of the other farther. So beyond this point, the productivity of the interactions drops and one must either change the purpose of the interaction or walk away. So accepting that what you want cannot be had from that particular source. So that is the number four. So last is the number five idea that we cannot be friends with everyone. So it acknowledges the reality that um, forming deep, meaningful relationship with every individual we meet isn't feasible or always beneficial. So meaning we cannot please everyone. So example, you have 40 students in classroom, so uh, you cannot please them all. So as long as the majority. So take a risk in order to excel. Okay, so here multicultural education refers to any form of education or teaching that incorporates the histories, texts, values, beliefs, and perspective of people from different cultural backgrounds. So every person not connected with schooling may think that there is nothing difficult in teacher's job. This thought is a huge mistake as the number of challenges teachers face every new lesson is incredibly big, and this happens in the classroom where teachers and students speak the same language and understand each other perfectly. Okay, so there are major challenges of multicultural education. So first is the language barrier. Coming from different countries, children can speak the same language but never understand each other. So second is domination of different learning styles. meaning students may differ in race, religion, or family. Young people absorb information in a variety of ways. A teacher should offer students all the learning styles like auditory, visual, and etc. Third is the cultural difference can also be noticed in the poorly formed speaker-listener relationships and diverse patterns of cooperation and competitions. So meaning students might not know how to behave when the teacher is speaking, so have no idea of group or pair work, will not understand the rules of games introduced. So as students can hardly understand the language, images can be more effective in acquiring new knowledge. So next, number 4, nonverbal behavior. So sometimes it is much easier to understand a foreign language than a body language of another ethnic group. If a teacher is not aware of the nonverbal behaviors characteristics of the society where his students are from, that might bring about a variety of troubles and difficulty of right interpretation, such as customary from nonverbal behaviors as raise hands, eye contact, head nods, can have a completely different meaning in another country. So there might be a misunderstood about their nonverbal, like nodding, eye contact. So there are different countries, we have different meaning about that nonverbal gestures. Next, number 5, presenting one topic from different perspective, meaning you may say that every teacher should present a topic from different perspective, so independent in the pupil's nationality in the classroom. Next, number 6, diversity of extracurricular activities. So as children from other cultures have um, appeared in the classroom that differs from theirs, it means that they should also get accustomed to new traditions in a way of relationship in this new society. Next, number 7, teaching communication skills. Teachers should encourage students to discuss different issues, speak up their mind on a variety of topics, and promote a pleasant atmosphere in the classroom. And last is number 8, constant work with parents. So every teacher should understand how a student feels in an absolutely new environment, and communication with his parents can be helpful in that. So it is important to understand how a child has been raised from the childhood. So what traditions influence his view of the world, or what is absolutely for him. So this knowledge will help teachers to build their lessons more effectively and help students to find their place in the classroom. So that's all are the major challenges of multicultural education. Okay, next is the multicultural literacy in the Philippine education system. Okay, so we already practiced this one in our educational system in basic education, especially in elementary, the primary schoolers from grades 1 to 3. So first is mother tongue based multilingual education, or MTB. So it serves learner of non-dominant language communicate who do not understand or speak the language of instruction when they begin their formal education. So meaning, some grades 1 to 3 have this mother tongue subject. So those are practicing their mother tongue in different places. So for example, here in Agusan del Sur, Manubo. So the mother tongue that they will use is um, Manubo. So there are some different kind of Manubo here in Agusan, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So example, in the Leyte, so they are gonna use the Waray mother tongue. In Cebu, they are using their mother tongue, Cebuano or Bisaya, like that. So in every place, there is a mother tongue that they will use. So next, Indigenous People Education or IPE focuses on teaching indigenous knowledge, models, methods, and content within formal or non-formal education systems. So meaning nowadays our IPs or indigenous brothers and sisters are already included in our educational system, like in DepEd, like far areas here in Agusan del Sur. So nanatay teachers na member pud sa mga indigenous people sa ilang community, which is sa ila tribo nga sila pud ang nagatudlo. Sila kibali ang mga teachers dito. So nadyo mga ana ano nga na na teacher sa DepEd ma-assign sa mga lagyo. So sila gyapon ang nagatudlo sa ilahang tribo. So mao to. Mo ni sila ang mga na part na pud ni sila sa atoang educational system. Okay, so next. So promoting multiculturality in the classroom. So as you can see, here are the three pictures in this on the slide. So the first is multicultural literature. So choose diverse textbooks, encourage open dialogue, connect literature to students' lives, use literature to address stereotypes, okay, like that. Next is creative projects, so drawings, making tasks that is lined to multicultural literature like cultural collage, project recipe book, picture books like culturals and crafts. Next, the third picture is the cultural festivals. So in our country, we do celebrate cultural or different cultural festivals or festives. Like in each schools, they also celebrated UN or United Nations, which promotes different cultures of different countries. So example, cultural festivals. Recently lang gina-celebrate ang Sinulog. So Kadayawan, Ati-atihan, Mascara. So it's the celebration of different cultures and beliefs. So it's understanding of Filipino culture and the diverse traditions that make up the Philippines' rich heritage. So that is the different kind of festivals here in the Philippines. So um, we have different celebration in our place because we celebrate as one. We celebrate our beliefs and history as a Filipino here in the Philippines. Okay, next. There are several studies that explains the issues in the multicultural classroom. So first is low academic achievements. So it is obvious issue. So teaching and learning are not easy work, or even if the students and teachers are not the same societal, economic and cultural background. Therefore, they may face some difficulties in the classroom when they deal with students and teachers who are from different culture background. Okay, next, the second one, adjustment to a new cultural environment. So some studies indicate that the new cultural character of the classroom is one of the issues for international students in Western education. So speaking in the multicultural classroom, because they are learning in a new environment that is unfamiliar to them. So next is the third is problems with a self as well as the new culture. So trust problems with self as well as the new culture are issues in the intercultural classroom. So these studies also suggested that the teaching material and approaches of teachers should be modified to recognize the students' cultures and to gain students' trust. So therefore, students will feel respected and safe with their teachers and classmates. Okay, so here, here is a quote from Mahatma Gandhi: "No culture can live if it attempts to be exclusive." So that is the end of my presentation. So here are my references of this topic. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much, sir and classmates.